Hi, welcome to City Country 6 Podcast. This is where you get to hear inside conversations between city and country about life, kids, womanhood, culture, black southern things. Eavesdrop in on our phone conversations to laugh, cry, amen, disagree, and agree with your bi-weekly dose of what did I just listen to? Let's listen in on this week's most recent phone call of differences.
Hello, hello.
Hey, how you be?
I'm all right. How are you? You sound like you're in a hole.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't sound like I'm in a hole.
Oh, that's better.
Okay, that's what it was. All right, I can
How are
do it.
things going in the country?
I'm not in the country. I'm sitting next to you. I'm just kidding.
It's funny.
Oh my gosh, I'm
The way
literally.
I feel right now, I wish I was in the country because there's nothing to do there. Just sit and do nothing.
Girl, today I took off. I took off today. I said
How?
I decided to play with the kids today. I decided to play with the kids. So that was my off day. Just play, not dictate what they do or, try to be referee. Just, I'm going to play just like a kid. I got tired very quickly though. So, like,
Yeah, you forgot about how much energy it takes to move that much.
and the thing of it is, we were sitting. We played Play-Doh.
Oh gosh. I remember you used to ask me how did I get 10,000 steps a day and didn't go outside.
I still to this day don't understand. Like these little suburban homes, how do you get 10,000? I sat. I did not go.
And you were still tired?
Well, not feeling good. So just
that makes you tired. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I'm just like, so after we played Play-Doh for like 20 minutes or so, I was like, all right, guys, I'm gonna go lay on the couch.
Really?
I was done. I was so done. I laid on the couch. Mom was like, I'm not mom. What does my mother want? My you've heard of that before. When you say someone else's name, it must be the person talking about you or they want something from you or whatever.
Definitely a country saying again.
Really? You've not? Oh, wow. Wow.
If you say someone's name, they're talking about you.
They're talking about you or they're thinking about you, something like that. Yeah. If you mistaken say their name or, they come to mind, they must be thinking about you. Yeah.
Oh, well, we used to say you step on a crack, you break your mama's back.
Well, that's true too. That's true too. But I've heard of that one. But yeah. But CEO was telling me, don't go to sleep. And then of course here come Pastor. Doggone. I'm like, dude, no one is deaf in this house. But
oh my gosh.
Like, I don't know. He's been it's a thing. But yeah, so not feeling good. So yeah. But it's all good. Just a lot of rest today. The Legos. Now I did get a little ticked at him about the Legos. I told you these kids are mean and they're trying to tell me how to play with Legos. I almost took the Legos and like threw them in the trash. But like now no one can play with them. So there.
Oh my gosh.
I almost did it because they just trying to tell me what to do and don't tell me how to build Legos. I'm grown. I know how to build Legos.
Well, that's the thing. They say play with me, but then they have to tell you how to play. Like that's the thing I'm going through now.
See, I can't because I'm getting.
Well, then you don't want to play with me.
I sure don't.
Mine will just say, "Will you play with me?" But everything I try to do, then he'll say, "Well, give me that." No, I need that piece too. Like when we're building with he doesn't have the Legos, the little ones, because of the choking hazard.
Right.
But he has the magnet tiles.
Yeah.
So he'll say, "Can we play together?" But every time I go to get one, he needs that one too. Oh no, I need that one. I need that one. So you don't want to play with me. You want me to sit here and watch you play. And I'm not a voyeur. I don't watch people play. Either I participate in the act or I leave.
Okay, that's what I told him. I said, y'all either gonna leave me alone and let me do my thing and let me play, or I'm gonna take my toys and I'm gonna go home. And even though we're all in the same house, I will take these toys, go in my bedroom, sit down. Nobody's playing with them. I'm playing with them. Yeah, I'm a kid myself. So yeah, but Pastor was doing that to me. Every time I picked up something, he wanted to pick up the same thing I'm picking up. And it's like, and then of course the CEO's like, but I built that. Don't tear it apart. I said, I need a piece out of this. You're not even playing with, like, oh, I almost got to fight. I almost got to fight my own children.
You're like Oprah. Anything you touch just turns to gold. You have to mind touch.
Obviously, but I wasn't given. Everybody wasn't getting Legos for me. That's the thing. I was trying to take them. Somebody thought they was getting them. But no, it was just a relaxing day today. No work, no, well, a little work, but just try to keep it to mobile work. So I wasn't set up in the closet, stuck in there in the office closet. Because,
the office closet.
Us millennials can't afford anything more than sharing space with what's already here.
Hey, you're ahead of the game. You actually have a house that you own.
I am very grateful for. Very, very grateful for. But I do want to clear up something. As I was working earlier this week, I realized that I didn't answer a question that you had about food. It was something about you're asking me about how hot it gets in the kitchen, and you would ask me about the rice cooker, and I was like, after I thought about it, I said, oh wait, I didn't answer her question right. I actually cook mac and cheese in the rice cooker.
What?
See, I knew it. I knew you didn't know what I was talking about. I cook rice in the rice cooker.
I thought you were making mac and cheese in the oven. That's why the oven was on, and then rice in the rice cooker because CEO doesn't eat mac and cheese.
No, I do put it in the oven after I make it in the rice cooker, but I make it in the rice cooker first, just like I would on the stove, except for I use a rice cooker because that hot plate, you can put it on warm and it'll just stay at a consistent heat while you're adding all the milk, cheese, shredded cheese, all that stuff to it. And your spices and all that. So if you cook the noodles in there first, drain the noodles, and then you can add all your stuff in there while it's still warm. And then you can put it in the oven, you pour it in another pan and you bake it. But no, my string beans was in the stove on top of the rice. The rice I cook on the stove most of the time because it's just quicker that way to me than waiting on the hot plate of the rice cooker to warm up. Because
so you cook the mac and cheese in the rice cooker, but don't cook the rice in the rice cooker that's on the stove. Okay. I just wanted to repeat it so you can understand what it sounded like.
And I just want you to know that it's okay to cook mac and cheese.
I mean, you can do what you want to do.
I sure can. I'm just letting you know.
Why? Like Miss Tab says, because it's your business.
It is my business.
It's your business.
I'm doing it that way. But see, my thing is I feel like rice cooks faster on the stove to me than in the rice cooker. But if all I'm cooking is rice and I'm not cooking anything else, then yeah, I'm cooking in the rice cooker.
Wait a minute, but what kind of rice are you making?
Oh, that plain old white rice. If I'm doing brown rice, I'm doing it in the rice cooker. Actually, I do it in the pressure. That
takes about 45 minutes to an hour.
Right.
On the stove or in the oven.
Yeah, or I do the pressure.
But I prefer to bake my rice.
What? Okay, we're not going back to that. We're not going back to that. We're not. We're going to continue on with what we're going to talk about today. We are not going back down that path.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
I just want to But anyway.
So what's today's topic? What are we talking about today?
We're talking about medicine and sickness because that's where we are right now.
I mean, really, like I'm literally like looking forward to my doctor's appointment tomorrow. Like I'm actually going to see somebody. Like, ooh, I get to go to the doctor. Because I want to feel better.
I know you do. You've been sick.
I think I'm rubbing off on you. Like, you like to swipe your card now?
I don't like swiping my card. I don't.
Okay.
No. I still don't like it. I will do it though. I don't have a problem. Like I have a dentist appointment coming up. Regretting it. Actually hoping they cancel on me, but I'm prepared.
I'm sorry. Okay, you said you have a dentist appointment tomorrow?
No, next week. I have one next week.
Oh, next week. And why do you want them to cancel?
Because I just don't want to go. I don't like the dentist. Like I said, I don't like the dentist. So
why do you go if you don't like it? You just put your big girl undies on and just say, what, I gotta go. Okay.
I gotta go and just do it. This is the same reason I do my annual. I just go because I have to. I have to do the blood work. I have to, after working in it and seeing, how fast things can turn for the worst, or
Mm-hmm.
oh, I didn't know I had this. It's like, yearly's not that bad,
Right. It's like an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Okay,
That's the
whatever that.
saying.
Oh, okay, whatever that means.
You've never heard that saying? An
No.
ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's kind of like what you're talking about. It's better to prevent things from happening or catch things when they're small than to have something full blown and try to heal it.
Oh, I agree. I just ain't never heard of it.
Oh my gosh.
So there's that. But
Wow. Okay. I'm done.
Yeah, I was done last week, but here we are back on it again. Still tolerating each other.
Right, because we have nothing in common. So I had a question. You know what? That's what we have in common. The fact that we have nothing in common.
That's it.
That's the one thing we do have in common. Okay, so if you could rank all of the different doctors in order from most tolerated to the worst, go from the worst to the best.
The worst doctors I've had, or the worst type of doctors?
Type of doctors.
OBGYN's number.
So that's number one?
Oh gosh, no. One.
Okay, keep going. I'm listening, and then I'll tell you mine.
That's the first one that came to mind, going, yep, that is not my favorite position to be in. No.
I'll be quiet in case my mommy's listening. I have nothing to say about that one. Well, I do, but I won't say. My mommy always said, just because something comes up doesn't mean it has to come out.
But for my peaked ears, I am so curious. Just whisper it to me. Whisper.
I'm like the deacon, not gonna catch me.
Okay, then fine, don't tell me. But OBGYN, I find the most taxing to do. I don't mind going, but the whole, hey, press the button when you're done, stripping for us and get on the table. And it's like, I'm sitting here in this.
Wait a minute, press the button.
Yeah, I have one of those where you press the button, they don't knock. Well, they do knock and make sure you're done, or you didn't press the button on accident, but it's like a little button you press that lights up to say, hey, you're ready for them to come in and violate you. So
wait a minute. What? Okay, wait a minute. You go in the room and you take off your clothes. Where is this button that we're pressing?
It's close to the door. So that's another thing. You're naked, walking with the sheet and the vest or whatever thing on you. And, for us hippie people and these big booty people, that sheet might as well be a paper towel. It's not covering anything. And it's like one size fits all. No, I need you to give me the 2X sheet over there, like staple a couple of them together. You go to the door and you press the whatever color button they tell me to press, and then you hop back on the table, and within like 10 minutes or so, they'll come in and close the imaginary curtain, which makes no sense because the room is about the size of a closet. It's just big enough for me, the nurse, and the doctor.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't have a VIP Airbnb like you do. So
what?
Where I go, it might be the I guess the Section 8 of doctors. I don't know. Actually, I kind of like mine. I like mine though.
I'm so done with you. No, ma'am. I go to a regular doctor like you do.
But let's see, OBGYN's first. I would go. I don't go to any other major specialty doctors that would really be like the worst. Never been to a pulmonologist. Never been to podiatrist.
Oh, I've been. Well, I have never been to one personally. The pulmonologist, but my baby goes.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have been to a podiatrist. You know what? I need to make a list of all the doctors, the types of doctors I've been to. Go
ahead, just start listing them now, because you've been to more than I have, and I have asthma, and I've never been to a pulmonologist.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, yeah. So let me go back to my list of worst to best first.
Yeah.
And these are just the general doctors.
Okay.
The worst is the optometrist.
Ooh, okay. I guess, yeah.
That's the worst.
Okay.
The next one, I would say it's the dentist.
Okay.
Then I would say gyno.
Okay.
And then just the general practitioner.
Okay. Cool.
Because those drops they give you at the eye doctor, I ain't feeling that.
Well, when you've been...
It's like the gynecologist for your eyes, where they put drops in it, they put puffs of air in it, they poke it sometimes to take pictures of it.
Then I blow away. Whoa, who's blowing air up you?
In your eye? Oh, you talking about... Oh, you know what I mean. They're poking and prodding, okay? They're poking and prodding.
Like if they do that, you can find you a new one because they about to kill you.
if they blowing air, yeah, that'll give you embolism.
Yeah. Oh boy.
No.
Okay. But yeah. But see, here's the thing. Gosh. I can handle the dentist because as long as they're just cleaning my teeth, I'm fine. When they start wanting to do things to them, we have a problem. And that's my problem, is the fact that, you want to start doing stuff to them. And no, the OBGYN's number one on my worst list, like I said, is because, you down there with, pliers, basically down there digging around. And then, of course, my last two pregnancies, well, my first pregnancy was not the best as far as, care and tender love and care kind of thing compared to my last one. So, a little bit of trauma, not really too happy about, someone going down there, rearranging furniture. So, but at least, and then of course, my thing is anything I can't see. So I can't see in my mouth. There's not all dentists let you have a mirror so you can see what they're doing. And then the other, I can't see what you're doing down there either. So if I can't see what you're doing, I don't like you because I have to take your word for it.
Oh gosh. But you can feel it.
Yeah. And I don't like it. So here we are.
Gosh.
I mean, but I do it because it is necessary, and it's a necessary evil. It is beneficial to the longevity of my life for me to go. So I will go.
I agree with that.
Oh, well, we agree on something before we get there.
And an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Whatever that is you just said. That's just too much of everything. You just said go to the doctor so you ain't got no problems. Simple.
That's the moral of the story. That's the moral. Well, why didn't you say that?
Why did you say that in the first place? But the sickness, without going into much detail, for me this round is just a reoccurring flare of the digestive tract. And anybody with any type of stomach issues knows that it's just uncomfortable. You don't want to do anything. It's like basically eating a Thanksgiving dinner and you just want to lay down and sleep. Because anything that happens in your gut affects your entire body. And yeah, medicine's working about as much as it can, but medicine can only, it's not a miracle drug. It's not a magic pill that it just fixes as soon as you take it or continues to fix. No, medicine takes time. And then also with it taking time, you might have to trial and error it before you make sure you don't have, side effects that affect your day-to-day life. Like, what was that last thing you had? The tingling lips. That's what it was. And I was like, what?
Oh my gosh.
Your lips are tingling. What?
Oh my Lord. Let me tell you something. If was a feeling, that is what my lips felt like.
Oh, wow. I did not. Well, I was just thinking, when you go to the dentist and they numb your mouth and it starts to come back. That's what I was thinking. She said a whole motorboat type felt like going on.
It felt like my lips were vibrating inside, but they weren't moving.
Wow. So yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff. That's scary because if you don't already know that you're taking some type of medicine like that, then you have a side effect. You could be thinking the worst. Like you could have been thinking, dog, I'm having a stroke right now and ain't nothing I can do about it. Just sitting here, lips tingling.
Thank God I knew somebody had taken it and they said the same. Well, they said that their legs tingled.
Walking around there with vibrating legs. That's
vibrating legs. And then it went to my arms. That's what happened. So I took this medication. And one dose is all it took to make me a believer. Just said I'd rather just be sick. So my legs started tingling first. And then my fingers and my arms started tingling. And the tingle got stronger and stronger. It was like, when your feet fall asleep, but you don't know it until you kind of get up to go walk around and it feels like sand, ants, or whatever. That's what it feels like at first. And then all of a sudden the sand comes alive and starts vibrating.
Your nerves were having a party and they was getting down.
And then all of a sudden it got to my lips and it got stronger and stronger and stronger.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I can't walk around with static legs and static arms and static lips. That just ain't gonna work for me. Oh no,
you couldn't walk around. All I could do was lay there and stare at the ceiling. And my husband, he came in the room like maybe an hour into the medication, like right when it was starting to kick in. He walked in the room. He was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "What?" He was like, "Why are you looking crazy like that?" I was like, "How do I look?" He was like, "You just look weird." And I was like, "I feel weird."
Wait a minute. That's like going in and asking a drug addict. Wait, why are you looking like that? Well, I just snorted something. So, I mean, I'm probably going to look a little off.
I'm going to look a little off right now. Yeah. But yeah. It was really quite the experience.
I know you were scared. That is for sure.
Oh my gosh. In the words of an old deacon I know, what you say? Yes. You weren't ready for that one, were you?
No, I wasn't. Even though I do know that saying. So
what you say?
What you saying? But yeah,
oh gosh.
It's just you gotta be careful with that. But between that and the most recent sickness, you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. And then just, in general, like kids going to school, bringing home, whatever they picked up out of the crevices underneath the seats of their desk or whatever. But my thing is that those jokers go to school and they literally spit on doorknobs and lick them and
please don't say that.
I'm just saying that was my thing. You got them licking doorknobs and running around here high-fiving each other in the mouth. It's like, yeah.
Oh, not in the mouth, Father.
Yeah, in the mouth, all up in the mouth, So it's like, yeah, it's gonna happen. And one of my biggest things is that, the CEO, this is a little somber, it's not as, funny, but, with the CEO almost losing her to a serious asthma attack. I take sickness and medicine very, very seriously. And not just because I worked in the medical field, but because, I've, you see it. And but when it happens to your loved one, it's like, no. Okay. But for a little bit of a backstory for her, she was 3, I think. Yeah. We found out, I think, 2 weeks before that she was asthmatic. And we were doing everything. And as someone who has gone through really bad episodes of asthmatic flares and stuff like that, I did everything that I could to keep her, comfortable at home. But then one morning I get up and baby girl just don't want to move. She don't want to get up. She's responding to me, but she wants to sleep. Why does she want to sleep? Find out her oxygen level was below 85.
Oh my Lord.
So yeah, even though her lips were not blue, and even though, she was still taking it in, she was fighting though. And it was one of those sicknesses that happened, and she just basically wanted to sleep. She didn't want to do anything but sleep. Granted, that's all she can do is sleep because that's all the oxygen she's getting in. Thank goodness for Children's Hospital and all the work that they did and the extra help that we got. She's fine. We have plans in place. Her doctor is amazing. We'll follow this doctor all around the world. I do not care. Because she is here today, not just because of my knowledge and history, but because of, people actually taking time to, hear my plea and understand that, hey, there's something wrong. And, her letting me know, Mommy, I just don't feel good. And even though it's sad and it's scary at that time, literally listen to, a doctor you trust, please. Because even though we were in that situation, and we don't like to relive it. Don't get me wrong. We don't like to sit there and dwell on it, but we remind ourselves that, hey, this could have been an instance where it could have went direly left. And I'm just glad that medicine's there, doctors are there to help us get through this. So now that when she does have an episode, whether it's due to sickness, well, it's normally only due to sickness, which is another reason why I say kids lick doorknobs.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, because I'm sitting going, hey, ain't no way. But and she's a hugger, so that's So it's
CEO is a sweetheart.
She really is. So no, we're not. I don't play with the medicine. Don't play with the sickness deal. And when it comes to her, we really don't play. Probably a little too protective, which that's another thing I gotta get over. Go ahead and cut the umbilical cord off a little bit more so she can still be a kid. You know what I'm saying? Still have fun. And I can go live my life without living in fear that something's going to happen to her or whatever like that, But it's all good. Everything's great and wonderful. She's fine. She's healthy. I'm fine. I'm okay.
Oh, gosh.
I'm okay.
I was going to say, are you?
Yeah, I was going to say, let me not lie and sit here and say, oh, I'm great. I'm wonderful. No. After we get through talking, I'm going to go to sleep.
I don't mind you. I'm not going to go to sleep, but I understand.
Well, why not? Okay. Okay. Okay.
Because I have things to do.
Whatever. Just
it is what it is.
You have to work.
You can fight it or you can give in to it.
Wait a minute.
What?
You don't have a headache, do you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Because that's normally what we say. I have a headache and we have things to do.
Oh my God. No, as the deacon says, mommy has to work on her computer.
Oh, okay. You've got extra stuff to do.
Yeah, I have work to do. I don't know what.
Hey, I mean, it can be called work too, but anyways.
Oh my God. I didn't say it.
You were humming, so I was just like, oh, okay. Well,
Oh, you got me coughing. Oh my gosh.
Catch your breath. Catch your breath. I'm not trying to embarrass you on here just in case.
Oh my gosh. As brown as I am, I think I'm just tickle pink.
Tickle pink. See, I know what y'all say in the country.
I'm pink. Oh, tickle pink.
Well,
so I met a lady from the country a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if I told you this, but when I met her, I said, "Hey, how are you?" And she said, "I'm finer than Frog's hair, split 6 ways."
Jeez, what? Hold on, wait a minute. Say that again. Hold on.
She said, "I'm finer than Frog's hair, split 6 ways."
I've heard a version, and it's I'm finer than pig's hair, but not fox hair. Split 6 ways.
Frog's hair.
Frog's hair? No, pig's hair.
Frog. She said frog.
Oh, she said frog, not
Yeah, I don't know where the pig came from.
Man, well, foxes. I thought I heard fox. But no, the pig is what I have heard. I'm finer than pig's hair because pig's hair is fine. But frog, I've never heard of. A frog don't even have hair.
And that's how fine it is. How fine she was doing, baby. Fine than Frog's hair, split 6 ways.
Oh golly. What's that other thing? It made me think of and I can only think of the end part of it. And it's stuck like a hair in a biscuit.
Wait a minute.
That might be the right way to say it. I might be saying it wrong, but the hair in the biscuit part, I remember hearing for like the first time, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, and I went, oh, because I'm thinking about our hair, and I'm going, well, that hair is stuck in that biscuit. It's really in there because it ain't coming out.
Oh my gosh.
But I was sitting here looking at the person that said it, and I'm going, well, it wouldn't be in there for long. I mean, you just slide that out now. But my hair, if it got stuck in the biscuit, you might as well cut that part of the biscuit off because it's in there. It ain't coming out.
Wow.
But yeah, that made me think of that, and I was going, oh, I guess the hair and the hair thing. But what, you've never heard of that, hair in a biscuit?
No.
It'll make you check.
So the only way hair would get in the biscuit is if someone didn't have a hairnet on while they were cooking.
Or you cooking it at home. You ain't paying attention.
You still don't wear a hairnet.
No,
yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah.
That's how it got in there.
That is true. Well, it'll make you check biscuits from now because ever since I heard that, I always check a biscuit. I mean, I tear that biscuit apart because I'm checking for the
Well,
hair in the
then
biscuit.
wait a minute. Why are you checking for the hair in the biscuit? Like you're breaking the biscuit, but what if it's the biscuit is a sandwich? Like it has bacon, egg, and cheese. Like why would you want to break it?
Well, I break it in half, just make sure ain't no hair in that part. And I'm always checking after I take a bite and stuff. I don't know
Look at it
why.
this way.
Mm-hmm.
If it were in the oven, it's dead anyway. Whatever was on that hair, lice and all.
I understand that, but when you find hair in your food, don't you lose your like will to eat it anymore? You lose your appetite.
Of course.
Okay, all right.
Of
So it
course.
doesn't even matter if it's burnt. Everything on it is burnt off. There's hair, and that's
That's
it.
a good point. I was just trying to be. I was trying to help you not to waste money.
No, I'm gonna eat the biscuit. I'm just not. I'm probably gonna tear it up though and make sure I look at it every time because I don't know why. And the first time I ever heard that, I was just like, well, why would there be a hair in a biscuit in the first place? Like, and then of course it made me think, well, certain types of hair is gonna get stuck in it, and of course, my overthinking behind went.
Oh Lord. You went all the way in.
I went there and I stayed there and I camped there, took a nap, got up, had breakfast there.
Definitely. Yes. I concur.
I was stuck. I just couldn't get out of it. But anyway, I digress.
Oh gosh, you're funny.
What?
You just are.
I'm odd.
I said you just are.
No, I was just saying I'm odd too, but that's okay. You're funny.
Oh.
You're very funny. Because, oh yes, yes.
I'm normal.
No, oh, you were so no, ma'am. I have never have experienced anyone. No, I take that back because, like I said, I worked in the medical field, so I saw some frequent flyers. But as many times, you might as well. I know your deductible is paid by January 31st every year.
This is the funny part. I don't ever meet my deductible.
Makes no sense.
I don't get it. I really don't understand the point of a deductible, by the way.
Oh, but insurance.
No, I just don't understand it because basically the deductible says you pay. Well, no, there are two things. There's a deductible, and then they have the max out-of-pocket cost.
Mm-hmm. Now that is the other thing I don't like about insurance. But
the point of the max out-of-pocket cost is once you reach that point, you don't have to pay anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so high that the average person will never reach it.
Unless you're exceptionally sick.
Right.
Or you have very
very
good insurance. Like your out-of-pocket is your deductible. So it's not like double.
Right. But I do work with health practitioners.
Mm-hmm.
So when I file the insurance claims or when they have a new patient and I call to find out their benefits, I've always noticed that for the most part, the out-of-pocket costs greatly exceeds the deductible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, why wouldn't they be one and the same?
Because it's not. Because how else would insurance company be able to keep that money? And to
right, like if my max out-of-pocket cost is like $7,000 to $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have cancer,
yeah,
or in a bad car accident or something, you're not going to reach that.
Nope, you never will.
Not.
And the only way
that's a good thing. You don't want to reach it. You know what I mean? That means you're not using your insurance enough or a lot if you're not reaching it. So I get it, but I just don't understand why they're not, like you said, the same.
Yeah, that's one thing that irritated me. But how you can do it is, and the trick of the trade is to pay the highest premium, I guess, and you would meet your out-of-pocket quicker because the out-of-pocket and the deductible is lower and your premium is higher. So if you are a sick individual, you would want the higher premium, which sucks because if you're a sick individual, you're probably not working a lot, which means you're not paying that premium. You're probably not going to be able to pay that premium. But if you get the higher premium, your deductible and your out-of-pocket is cheaper. So you wouldn't meet it easier. I've only met my deductible maybe once or twice in my entire life out of all the insurances company places I've worked with the insurance. I've only met it once or twice, and it was like $2,000. But that also works out better if
that's really low.
But that was back in the day, though. It wasn't today's time. It was probably like 2004 or 5. But the thing is if you work with a company that has a whole lot of employees, your deductible will be lower, and your out of pocket will also be lower. Now I couldn't say because I don't work in the field anymore. I couldn't tell you. But the last place I worked, I couldn't believe my deductible and out of pocket. I could not believe it. It was literally $2,000 for the deductible and $4,000 for the out of pocket, or maybe it was $5,000 for the out of pocket. And I was like, I almost cussed up, down, and backwards. I was like, what's the point of having insurance? I can't even afford to go to the doctor and get to this point. Like, I have to have $2,000 up front before they'll even pay the 80/20. And then I have to pay another $2,000, $3,000 before they'll pay 100%.
Okay, wait a minute. Go back. You have to pay $2,000 before they begin to pay claims on your behalf?
Yeah, the 80/20.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, that's why I hate insurance.
No, like I've never had insurance that does that. Like, they pay, and mine isn't even like a split. It's not a percentage. It's just for hours, like any preventative, like preventative things, like for annual, like the annual checkup, things like that. That's, you don't have to pay anything.
Right, that's free.
But for sick visits, I guess those are called wellness visits. But for sick visits, to your primary care, it's $20, and to any specialist, it's $40 for a copay. But after that, that's it. It's not like we have to meet a deductible before they start paying the difference. It's just deductibles are only charged for certain things. So and that's why I said I've never met it. The only thing I've ever been charged a deductible for is going to the ER.
Yeah. No, the one insurance that I had, that was one of it was the most ridiculous. And it's basically because the company didn't want to pay. The company did not want to pay for
the cheap plan.
Yeah, they didn't want to pay for it. So they made you pay before the insurance would pay. So someone would have to pay, not your wellness visits, but if you did go to the ER, if you did come in for sick, you'd have to pay your copay plus whatever it was that they wanted to charge you. And if the insurance decided, oh, well, we'll pay for that because, they put in the right diagnosis code or whatever, they would pay, maybe 20. It was like it swapped is what I want to say. It's like they paid 20, you paid 80. And then once you make your deductible, it swapped, but I even remember having to pay, good gracious.
That could actually work.
What?
That scenario. Because think about it. If you didn't have insurance and you went to the doctor, they would charge you everything. They would charge you cash price for everything.
Yeah.
But you're still using insurance though. So they can only charge you the negotiated rate.
Right.
So it was still cheaper.
No.
You were still paying what the insurance would have been paying had they paid the claim.
Yes, but the thing of it is their negotiated price and what the doctor charges a lot of times is higher. And I have proof. Well, I don't have proof now, but I have knowledge proof. I can't say I have paperwork right here. No, I don't have paperwork, but I have proof in history.
So you don't get the bill that says like,
oh, I get that.
I got plenty of bills.
Yeah, did you?
So like if I were to go for a regular office visit, I'll tell you, I got a bill the other day. The office visit cash price was $416, but the negotiated rate for my insurance was like $83. And so I paid the $20 the deductible, which meant that they only got $63.
Yeah,
no, the negotiated rate was $83.
Yeah, no. I get that now because like we're on a better insurance. I'm just talking about like my own single insurance with just me on it. I would hardly ever get those. And when that's what I'm saying, when you're on single insurance, or if you're paying for the, what is it? I hate to call what it is. I just call it Obamacare. If you had that, oh my gosh, you can hang up.
I heard about that. I have a friend on that, and she's a small business owner. She cannot afford to be sick.
Exactly.
But she can't afford to have it.
Exactly.
I mean, she can't afford not to have it.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you get fined at the end of the year. So, and I think that's ridiculous. That's another reason why I have an issue with that. But no, my thing is that after being single and having the insurance and filing it single, like I'm the only person on it, it's ridiculous. Like CFO's insurance, like I literally at one point we took me off of the insurance I was paying because I was paying the same price, but even though I was in a smaller company paying the same price for insurance just for me as he was paying for him and the CEO. And their deductible was cheaper. Their out of pocket was cheaper. So when it came down
But
to,
why wouldn't you be on that one?
but at the time it was cheaper for me to be separate. When the company changed, the company I was working for changed the policies, that's when I got on to his because they had went up even more so. And so I went on to his, which ended up working out because in the end, it also was cheaper for us to even have another kid on his insurance versus me going to the doctor. Because, you know, that global, whatever it is that the OBGYN pay for, that's another reason why I don't like OBGYNs. You had the global, like when you get pregnant, they want you to pay every time you go. I forgot what it's called, but it's a global something. And you probably didn't because you're Airbnb. But anyway,
I've never heard of it. They charge you one time. They don't charge, well, at my Airbnb, they don't charge you until you have your baby. You don't pay any co-pays, you don't pay anything.
Oh, see.
They just charge you the one charge.
That's the two places that I've been to, and I've been to two different ones, is that you have to pay at every visit. Not like they give you a plan and they say this is what the estimated cost is of a regular pregnancy. And for that pregnancy, this is what we charge. We charge, let's say it's $3,000 or $6,000 for vaginal delivery. Okay. And it's $8,000 for C-section. And that's just me throwing out numbers. You know, I hate math, so let's not go there. And they'll break it down over the course of your pregnancy on how much you need to pay per your insurance, what they estimate you're going to have to pay just for the OBGYN. We're not talking about the hospital visit. We're not talking about the hospital stay. We're not talking about any emergencies or medicines that you take at the hospital. That's a whole different thing that the hospital's going to charge you for. But just for the OBGYN, for them to see you, do your lab work, not even your lab work is covered. You have to pay your lab work separate. But to see you, do any other tests that they have to do, your ultrasounds, all of that is under that plan that they have. And you pay, let's say, I think I had to pay like $200 and something every visit. So every month I had to pay a certain, not every visit, but every month I had to pay $200 and something to meet that vaginal delivery that I was hoping to have. And
so your baby was on a payment plan.
Yep. I was paying.
Paying on your baby. So what if we didn't pay it? They don't keep the baby?
No, if you don't pay it, they don't see you anymore. You have to seek services elsewhere.
What kind of doctor do you go to? Like, is your doctor an independent physician who
they're not
admitting rights to a hospital?
Yes,
so they're not affiliated with a hospital.
Yes, but the first doctor I had was at the hospital. Everything was at the hospital, and it wasn't an independent practice. They were the hospital, but they did the same thing. This doctor, they rent a space at the hospital, but they're independent, so they could go anywhere. Right. But they do work.
Yeah, they just have admitting rights at a hospital.
At a hospital, but they do deliver at that same hospital too. So like they
have their own. They pay. It's like weird. They have a storefront practice.
Yeah,
they just rent space. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So if the person wants,
what's the name of this hospital? What does it start? What letter does it start with?
B.
This payment plan. Oh,
the other one started with. Let's just say this other one shut down and now is another name. And it was in a
okay.
Yeah. So
I understand now. Because both of those hospitals have that same model of.
And see, I thought going to this new one I wouldn't have that, and it's like, no, it's the same. And this particular,
it's cheaper for the hospital to do it that way.
I figured it was money.
Yeah, it's cheaper because nobody's on staff except for the ER physicians.
Gotcha. That
everybody else, they own their own practices, and then they just pay the hospital to have the right to admit their patients into the hospital.
Right, and they rent out space if they decide they want to have their office at this particular facility. Exactly. Got it. Makes perfect sense, because then you have a slew of, oh my gosh, I could hate the paperwork in the, ooh, boy.
Yeah, so the only employees are like, what they call them, janitorial service or environmental services, the cafeteria people. It's like a lot of people like minimum wage jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Plus then you have like medical records, anybody who's in administration, and then the physicians in the ER, and the nurses, and then that's it.
and the lab techs,
Yeah, but
the
they're not getting
X-ray
paid top
techs.
dollars. Yes, they're not
No,
getting paid any
no
money. So you just have people who work like the doctors who are actually working the floors. So what they call those I had a
residents.
friend who was one. No, well, residents are just they're still in school,
No, I mean,
but they're the people who like do the rounding and stuff. But the physicians, those physicians are employed by the hospital because they're working the inpatient.
yeah,
You know,
I
they
know what you.
round on
Yeah,
the inpatients.
but they
But
tend to
other than
have their own practice, or they're working. They have a joint contract with them, so that
right, yep.
they
So
have
think
to
about
go
how much
make the
money
round.
we're saving.
Yeah, yeah, but again, universal health care. I have nothing against that. But anyways, besides the point. I
Okay,
know it has
I'll
its
stay out of it.
I know it has its
hmm
ups and downs. I know that. But
And
it,
capitalism is not the best either. There has to be
no.
something in the middle. Like I want to know what is in the middle of universal health care
Yeah.
and America's health care. There got to be something in the middle.
There's gotta be, because this right here is just not. It's
Well, are you ready to come over to the Airbnb with me?
no, we almost did though, but no, we're not. Because the current
Mm.
insurance is actually pretty doggone good. I hardly ever get a bill unless it is a very special, if it's a sick visit or it's a very special procedure that's being done. Like CEO has had this, I already know I'm gonna have to pay for this, but she has a tongue tie, but it never hindered her in her speech. It's never hindered her in her breastfeeding, none of that. So she's going to have to get that done. Well, I already know I'm going to have to pay for it. Or I may not, depending on what they diagnose it as. But I feel like I am. And it's interesting because her tongue tie is literally at the back of her teeth. And it's just so interesting how she could still talk, eat, and not have any issues. As far as the pastor's tongue tie, it kept him from doing anything but scream. Um,
Mm.
yeah, he couldn't eat properly without trying to rip a nipple off. And it's like, oh
Oh,
God,
okay.
yeah, that was painful. But when I'm sorry, let me get back on track. When the CEO had her tube put in her ears, I'd be able to get a bill on that. So I know we are on good insurance now because I've not even had to pay that. And
Cool.
tubes have been putting tubes in your ears. I can imagine if she was on the old jobs insurance, I would have had to pay, which I think I did have to pay like a part of the deductible. I did have to do that because it's, the deductible's a thing. But as far as like anything else, I didn't get nothing from the doctor. I didn't get anything from the hospital. I got nothing. And I was like, that's good insurance. And the insurance that we have now, I could have a baby and it's literally they pay me to have the baby.
Well, go for it.
No. No.
Go for it.
You're not living vicariously through me. You better
Oh.
find you another country woman that needs some hands or something. Let her get knocked up.
Go for it.
Not this one. No, we are almost out of diapers. So yeah, almost, not quite. Had to buy some more. No, thank you. I'm good.
Okay.
You
Just
can
checking.
though. You can go ahead. You only got the deacon. You need a whole sanctuary full of folks.
No, I'm
You
okay
need
with just the deacon. The deacon is working my nerves, so I think I'm just gonna sit with the deacon for a while. The deacon even told me I don't want to be a brother. I just want to be by myself.
Oh wow. Yeah, he definitely needs a mother of the church. I feel like that's a necessity.
I don't want to be a brother. I just want to be by myself. I was like, I sure felt the same way before my brother was born. I was
Right.
the exact same age when my brother was born. I was 2 weeks away from being 4.
Wow.
And I remember thinking, I don't want a sibling. We're good. It's just good with me. And
Mm.
then he came home, and I was like, the day he came home from the hospital, I remember saying, can you just take him back? Like, I remember the day they walked through the front door, like, you have a brother. And I was like, take him back to the store. And I said, can you exchange him for a sister?
Ah, oh my
Thank
gosh.
God. Thank God we didn't exchange him for a sister. They just should have taken him back. It just
That's
got a
what
refund.
that's what me and my brothers say about the little sister and the baby sister. We were like, you had a boy and a girl. What you keep going for? Like, why?
Right. Like we were the perfect family.
And here you go, adding 2 extra minions to the piece.
Parents, they don't understand.
They don't listen. What
They
in the
don't. They're
world?
disobedient.
Very, very much so. I don't even know how. how we became parents because we listen, we pay attention.
I know.
The other day, the CEO told me that she was talking to me or something. And I told you. No, I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you. Either way, I'm gonna tell you again if I did. Went to the ENT. That's another doctor I don't like. That can be between, that actually is below the OBGYN. That they rank before the OBGYN.
Oh my God.
The ENT, well, look, because they dig it in your nose. Okay, that's enough. And I definitely can't see what you're doing there. I can feel it, and it don't feel good. And
why do you want to see stuff?
Because it lets me know you know what you're doing. Because you're gonna do right if I'm looking at what you're doing.
If you can feel it, they know you're there.
And so,
oh my gosh,
I want to see what you're doing. Because if you do it right, even though I don't know if you're doing it right or not, but if you gonna make sure you're doing it right, if I can pay attention to what you're doing, because you don't want a malpractice lawsuit.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I went to go get my ears checked and everything, because I just, I've been battling this sinus crud, and it's probably mainly because of the dry air, just too dry, not enough storms coming through here. I said, well, let me check my ears, because the CFO and the CEO will look at me, talk to me, or they'll startle me a lot. And they were like, you just can't hear. You're old. Oh my gosh. CEO told me that. She's like, ooh, you're old. You just can't hear. And I'm like, what? It's like, it's not that I can't hear. I'm thinking maybe I'm just ignoring y'all is what I'm doing. But anyway, so go in there, I'm doing the hearing test. And at first I'm thinking I really can't hear, because some of these little beeps and bleeps and all this stuff, I'm going, oh, and they put you in the soundproof room. You think you want it absolutely quiet, but you really don't. They put you in this room and it's soundproof and it's eerie, because it's like you literally can hear your blood flowing, and it's just so eerie. They'd be so quiet. And I hate that room. I hate that room.
I kind of liked it.
I sat in it for CEO's hearing thing to make sure, she can get her tubes and stuff. And I said, nope, I'm out. Nah, that room's creepy. I can't, no. And the nurse, or I forgot what she called her, audiologist, she was like, yeah, most people don't like that room because it's just too quiet. And I was like, man, maybe I can hear. I'm thinking, doggone, I'm going to come out of here with a hearing aid or something, because I couldn't hear half of what she. And I came and said, no, you can hear fine. And I looked at CEO. I said, see, I can hear. I just don't want to hear, y'all.
Oh my gosh.
And I walked out of that doctor's office with my chest puffed out, because I was like,
I can hear fine.
I can hear just fine. Y'all just annoy me so much, I don't want to listen to y'all. So I tune y'all out. But guess it's
oh my God.
It's funny. They can all kind of sneak up on me and scare me. Not kind of, they do, because I punched the CFO one night. I had an ear pod in one ear, and I was pushing buttons on the laundry machine. So all I hear is beeping noises and whatever's in my ear. And I don't turn around, and he walks up behind me to give me, and I just haul off and punched him, because I punched him and hollered, and I had nowhere to go because there's like a door behind me, and there was just nowhere to go. So someone was coming to get me. He was actually coming to get me. And it's like, you obviously have a hearing, but you should have heard me step. I'm like, no, I tell you, you're like swift on your feet. You're silent. Can't hear you. I wasn't listening. So yeah, but I proved I can hear. But yeah, ENTs up over there with the OBGYNs, just because they be up your nose, and I have the worst gag reflex. I just, no.
Oh my God. I've never been to ENT. I've been to audiology though. Trying to think the most interesting doctor I've been to. It's a tie between the ophthalmologist, neurologist.
Okay.
And the people who make custom orthotics.
They're not orthopedics?
No, they're technicians.
Oh,
but
okay.
But you have to go and make a mold of your foot. Like, it takes about 2 hours. They'll make a mold of your foot, have you walk so you can watch your stride. And then when they make it, they have to go to the back and make it. And then they make it and they have to shape it and shave it down to where it fits in your shoe properly. And then you have to put them on and walk around with them. It's just a really interesting process to watch that.
I'd rather get a pedicure.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would be.
Because
that's interesting.
I mean, one, I hate feet. That's one thing. I am not a fan of feet and skin lesions. I am not a fan of
lesions.
Like dermatology, their pimples.
Oh yeah, been there
and
too. Oh my gosh, I love popping pimples.
You're the book.
And when you pop them, the stuff. You ever watch Dr. Pimple Popper?
No. See,
you've never watched Dr. Pimple Popper?
I accidentally one time, and that was enough for me to go. I don't like that. Oh my gosh,
this stuff you squirting out the middle.
Stop talking about it. Like what?
Now it's like it doesn't bother me to see it, but I wonder what it smells like. I'm like,
oh, really? Seriously? CFO did that
Dr. Pimple Popper.
CFO did that when he had to go to, I can't remember where he went. I'm not even gonna lie and say I did. And he said, I'm so glad you weren't home. You probably would have been disgusted out. It smelled so bad. And I was just like, why did you just tell me? It came out and it's fine. Don't tell me. I don't like this. Working with nurses, you find all their little quirks. And one of them was all dermatology was their favorite. And I was like, she would come up to me like, hey, look at this. And I'm going, hey, if you don't want that book, flatten your face. You're going to get away from me with that. Because it's like, I don't care about burns. I don't care about bumps, rashes, pimples, abscess. I don't care about any of that. Don't show it to me. I don't want to see that. And getting swabs on those was I'm like, just lay it on the counter. I'll deal with it later. Between that, like I said, and phlegm, you're coughing up phlegm, that mucus. Yeah, can't, no, leave me alone with all that.
But you have 2 children.
And I want to drop kick both of them every time they sneeze. So I mean, do we have to?
But they're here because of mucus.
No, they're here. I don't think like that. They are here because their mom and dad love each other. That's it. We don't have to go any further than that.
Okay, so look, I know we've been talking for a minute, but I have a closing anecdote. I can't get it out.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the other day, my child was asking about. We always tell him that he used to be a ball in my stomach, but he calls it a muntie instead of a tummy. A muntie. Okay. I was like, yeah, you're a ball in my muntie. And I thought about it. I was like, how cool would it be to show him some pictures of when I was pregnant? Because he's never seen those pictures.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know. I don't have them on my phone, but they're on our desktop computer.
Mm-hmm.
So I showed him the pictures. And I was like, there you go. You know those pictures that everybody takes when you're pregnant, like the side picture. And I was getting big.
Yeah.
And I was about 6 months. I was like, oh, you look like I was just fat. Okay, that doesn't look like a pregnancy.
Yeah.
So I found one. That was just like a good meal you ate.
Yeah.
You know, you have that in between, like between maybe 4 months to about 6 months. You just look fat.
Yeah, you just look like you ate too much. Yeah.
Like a good Thanksgiving dinner. But I found one that was like maybe 8.5 months pregnant. So I was like really pregnant. And so I showed it to him. He was like, oh my gosh. He was like, I was a ball and you're muntie. I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, where was my head? And I was like, your head was over here on this side. And where was my butt? Your butt was over here. I was like, you used to kick me all the time and make me go to the potty. And he's like, yeah. I was saying, let me out. Let me out. I said, that's right. You kept saying, let me out. And he was like, well, did I ever come out? I was like, yeah, you came out. I was like, he's like, how did I get out? I said, the doctor cut my stomach and took you out. He was like, yeah, I came out. And that means I was born. Yeah, you were born. I came out. Didn't I come out, mommy? Yes, you did come out. And when I came out, did you give me snuggles? Yes, I did give you some snuggles. And when I came out, did you give me a kiss? Yes, I did give you a kiss. Oh, mommy, can I ask you one question? What, sweet boy? Well, if I came out, how did I get in?
Oh boy, how did you how I can't even get
I'm telling you, when they say kids have the darndest thing, they really do. And it was a logical question. If you came out, then you have to go in.
I mean, that's
so I said the only thing that I could say that a top would understand. Go ask your daddy.
No, you didn't.
So he goes in there, Dad, how? He said, I came out of my tea. He said, yeah, you did. Well, how did I get in there? He said, oh, Daddy, oh, let me tell you how you got in there. And I'm like, oh, wait with bated breath because I really want to know. He said, it's a really easy answer. He's like, what is it? He said, you were very tiny and you just walked in.
Oh.
And then you grew.
Oh, well, I mean.
You were tiny, you walked in, and then you grew.
Wow.
And I'm like, that was actually the truth.
Yeah. Well, technically swam, but yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Whatever. Yeah. But here's the thing. At his age, that conversation didn't have to be that deep because he gonna forget it.
No, he's not.
Well, I'll wait. I'm talking about your kid. My kid forgot. She's just like, oh, okay. And she was done. She didn't even care.
Nope. Sometimes we revisit conversations that we had briefly 3 or 4 weeks ago. And he'll be like, remember you said? Oh, yeah, I did say that, didn't I? You know what I said a few minutes ago? And apparently you don't remember what I said a few minutes ago because you're still doing it because I know I told you to stop.
Oh, see, that's where I was going.
You don't remember that. You remember something I said. Yeah.
Yeah. You remember something you shouldn't have been paying attention to. But okay. That is actually interesting. I think asked and I don't even remember what I told her because it wasn't anything. Because basically she was like, okay, well, that was interesting. Bye. She wasn't really that interested.
Oh, no, mine interrogated me. We had a doggone dialogue.
Well, look, he said, I was in there. Did I come out? I want to say, well, are you standing there? Are you standing there?
Oh, no, he understands the power of rhetorical questions. He asks you questions that he knows the answer to all the time.
Oh, okay.
But he wants you to give the right answer. So sometimes when I know he's doing it, I'll give the wrong answer. He'll say, no, that's not the right one. Say this.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But boy, I am not looking forward to that at all with the pastor because boy, I already know he ain't gonna give up. He is not gonna give up. You know what? I'm going to send, I'm gonna remember that. You walked in.
Right. Writing that down.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna keep that one. That was a good one. I never would have.
And it's the truth. Like that's one thing I always said. I never wanted to, I don't like to lie. Because I can't remember. I can't have time to remember the truth. I definitely won't remember a lie.
Okay.
And that's just anyway with my life, just one of those personal things. But yeah.
That's why Santa Claus
tell the truth. Yes, he is.
No,
see? He lives in the North Pole.
Yeah, okay. No, Santa ain't real. Because see, I remember when my parents was like, if anybody is listening to this on speaker, don't.
He's real.
Santa is real. I'll let you imagine. I will let you imagine that he is. That's perfectly fine. And I will tell you the true story behind what may have been St. Nicholas. But we ain't gonna sit here and talk about some fat man that does nothing but work one time a year, doesn't get paid, but has all these other people, little minions working for them, and somehow he's suspectedly supposed to get down.
I held my breath when you said Oh Lord, thank you.
What you thought I was gonna say?
You see, you always keep trying to get me to say stuff. Father, I stretch.
Oh no, we are not having midnight services right now.
Midnight devotional, honey.
We are not. But yeah, I'm with you on the tell the truth because I'm not gonna know. Because like I lived as a child, I lived in a trailer, single wide trailer, no chimney, no fireplace. So how was that fat man supposed to get in? Oh, we're gonna leave the door locked. No, you don't leave the door. I think I was like 7 or 8. And I was like, no, you don't. We're gonna leave the door unlocked, let him in. No, that makes sense. He ain't no. I'm like, come on. So yeah, I just flat out no. Santa ain't no. We can imagine, we can pretend, we can play, we can do all the coloring, watch the shows and stuff because it's nice to have a little magic, I guess, but no. Dude was breaking and entering people's houses and throwing coins in their socks.
Oh
Is what
my
he was doing.
gosh. Throwing what?
Coins, dowries. Just throwing sacks of money to the stockings at the
Oh,
fireplace.
I've never heard of that part.
That's one of many versions, but the one I got was Saint Nicholas. The one
Oh,
I
I need that
tell
one.
is the one that Saint Nicholas was a monk, and he knew of some girls that didn't have enough money for their dowries, and he went to their homes. Their windows were open, so he would throw them into their shutters were open, and so he would throw them into their socks that were their stockings that were hanging at the. But then one time their windows were shut, so he threw it down a chimney, and it fell into their shoe or their socks or whatever that were in front of the chimney, and that's how they met their dowry for their weddings and stuff, or their marriage, not weddings, marriage.
So the moral of the story is it's cheaper not to keep her. It's cheaper not to ever get her.
Get what?
The woman.
Yeah, it's cheaper just to leave it alone.
Pass her. Yeah, pass her.
It's cheaper to never get married.
That's the moral of the story.
It's cheaper to never get married, but unless you need good insurance, then get married.
Well, you got married and you still didn't get no insurance.
No, because it was still cheaper for me to.
And I still don't get that because it's like most insurances is single family.
Yeah.
And everybody's in the family. Like,
yeah, but it doesn't necessarily. Okay, so again, to break it down, it was cheaper because at the time I wasn't sick. Like when I was younger, before I got married, every time I turned around, I was going to the doctor for something. But after I got married, it just wasn't feasible. The jobs that CFO had just wasn't feasible for me to. It would cost more for him to pay family than it would have if I just stuck with what I had for the time being. And then as we got better and better jobs, even though the job I was at should have been a good job for me to, have good insurance and working at a doctor's office, you would think you would have better insurance. No. Yeah, it only got better until he got to where he is now. And it's just, I really do think it really matters how many employees work and what the company is willing to pay. That's what I really think it matters. And it's all about that. So the moral of that story is work for Amazon. They have thousands of employees. You might have good insurance.
Wow.
And they got unions going on. So
hey, might bring the price on down. Collective bargaining agreement.
Just saying.
Well, my insurance for my first job, my real job in my career, I was single. My insurance was $2 a month. That was the best insurance ever.
$2 a month?
Mm-hmm.
What was you on? A Plan B?
No, it was like great insurance. I wish I could go back and get it. And then some restructuring went on and insurance went up to $15 a month. And I was like, I won't complain. I'll be all right.
I mean, $15. I was paying $20, $25 every 2 weeks. That was good.
That's amazing. $50 a month is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I eventually left that job and went to another job and started paying $350 a month.
Ooh. I know you didn't like that one.
It was okay. It was still insurance I wanted. So because I could have got another insurance that was cheaper, but it was what I wanted.
See,
because I knew I went to the doctor a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I like my freedom. Like I don't like anybody. That's why I told you I don't like the universal health care. I don't want anybody telling me what I have to do.
Yeah.
And so this insurance that I opted to pay a little bit more for, I never had to have referrals to go see a specialist because I'm that person. I can go to a neurologist, and if I heard what you said, I might go to another one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go to my general practitioner, basically as an adult, saying, "Can I go to the neurologist? Can you write me a note?" No, I can go where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a referral. So that's why I was willing to pay a little bit more. And I didn't have a kid at the time, so I just had my own insurance, and my husband had his own.
Well,
and it worked out.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, which I think now insurances, you don't have to have a referral so much. So
yeah, this was a long time ago.
yeah, back then you had to have a referral. And I understand why, because people would just pop in and not really know what they don't even need to be there, and but at the same time, I'm like, I can completely skip a whole $35, $20, whatever copay and just go to you and spend the $50 copay to see you and be done. Why do I have to pay an extra copay, extra test that I don't necessarily need? Or you're going to do those same tests. So,
that's the beauty of going to an Airbnb.
See, that's the other thing that I like about it. See, we were almost there. We were almost where you were, but we didn't because your Airbnb just didn't do right. But that's okay.
Because my Airbnb does right. Maybe they only accept your insurance.
No. It was the job offer deal at the Airbnb.
Oh, I'm thinking you're talking about they wouldn't take your insurance. Okay.
No. I think it's fine. That part's fine.
Gotcha.
It was the job situation. But
I gotcha.
But yeah, no, I think your Airbnb is great the way it's set up. But because I've worked in the medical field, I already know. No, I've already had that test done. I already know I'm bringing my stuff with me. So if I've already had this test, then you're not going to test me again and have my insurance go, oh, you've already had that. No, you're not getting that test again. And I'm going to refuse it because I've already worked in that field. So I already know.
They're going to take your test again.
No, they're not, because I can refuse care there. And they can't.
Why would you refuse care?
If I already know what test you're going to do, you're not going to test me again.
What kind of test are you refusing? I'm trying to figure this out. Like
blood work, x-rays, MRIs, CT scans, all of that. You're not going to run me through the ringer for.
Why would you deny get blood work? Like it's just it's a stick.
Okay. Because I worked in that field. So I already know. Okay. The only thing you can test me on that will change is like two or three tests. Those are the only three you can test me on. Everything else is not going to change as quickly as you think. So you're not going to test me for those tests again. You're not going to charge me for those tests again. That's not going to, just because you want to copy.
So this is about, not that you don't want to get the test, you don't want to pay for it again.
Yeah, I'm not paying for it again.
But you don't pay for lab work.
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Yeah, your Airbnb, like I said, is a little
bit.
They
charge you for labs?
If it's not wellness or regularly maintenance test. If it's something that you have a problem, they will charge you for it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you need to come to my Airbnb. Girl, I've gotten 3 or 4 labs in a week. Like, okay, take it again. Okay.
It can be for, let's say if you're sick, and I'm going to use this acronym and it's not going to make any sense, but I'll break it down. A BMP, basic metabolic panel, which tests your glucose, basically is a kidney function. Test your kidneys, make sure they're functioning properly. You can get one of those tests again and not be charged. Like you can get a calcium test and not be charged because it's like a follow-up. But if you want to get a whole entire BMP again, just 2 or 3 days later, just because you went to another doctor, you're going to get probably charged for both, unless you have one of those insurances where if it goes to a certain lab, you don't get charged for it. You get it for free because labs make their money out of that, and doctors get money from the labs that they're partnered with. Yeah, they're going to charge you and they're going to run as many tests as possible. If it's a problem, if it's a problem test, like, we're just keep checking you, yeah, you'll get charged. The lab will charge you. They sure will.
And that is why you go to the Airbnb, because at the Airbnb, all of the doctors are employees of the hospital. So they're not nickel and diming you because they're going to make more money. They get their salary. Their salary is what it is. Also, the labs, they own the labs. So they're not having to send anything off.
That is, like I said, that's the benefit of your Airbnb, because your lab is there. They're not sending anything off special because there's not one test there that is not done.
Right. And that's the cool thing too about it. The only reason I even picked my Airbnb is because they have multiple locations, but the EMRs all talk to one another. Mm-hmm. So no matter where I go, I don't have to do that. Like I used to go to the boutiques that you go to. And, this doctor owns their own practice. And, and everybody drinks tea and sip champagne and mimosas in the waiting room. But every time I had to go to another doctor, it's like, can you give me a copy of this, or can you transfer this over?
Can you fax
And
it?
I don't have to. Yeah, I ain't got time for all that. So I just go to the Airbnb,
And
and it's
see,
always in the. It's
it's
just
in the
there.
thing. And I love that about that. I love that. I wish, but then again, that's another thing that would probably be under universal healthcare, where everybody have to be under the same EMR. And
Well, that's already there. That was under the Obamacare stuff. Like, I like that provision in Obamacare, because all hospital systems, they have to be able to share information at the drop of a hat. So,
yeah,
and I know this because my mom works in medical records and
yeah,
she's a supervisor. But it's nothing to go to one hospital and then the physician can call another hospital that they're not affiliated with and say, send me this. And they should be able to do it in a matter of an hour or two.
excuse me. Yes, and
That's something that was provided by Obamacare that I think is very helpful in providing timely health care.
yes, and I think that would be great. But the problem is human error. Is the problem is the time that it takes for the person to find that EMR record and actually send it, and make sure that they have the release record signed by the patient, which sucks.
Well, you don't have to have that. If a doctor is requesting it from a medical facility, then that's okay. They don't have to do that. It's all done electronically. That's the point.
Yeah,
So that cuts
and
down on the human error.
yeah, but the human error. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
But whenever humans are a part of it, of course, I know there's room for error.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here thinking
But-
of if, like, because where I was, and I know they had changed EMRs so many times, it was ridiculous. But you could do it strictly through the EMR. You just fax the information straight from the EMR. But if you're faxing it to someone who does have an EMR, but not using it 100% to his, to his abilities, where you can accept a file and it should go straight to that person's file, it's going to a fax machine file, or it's going to the computer, but it's going to the file of faxes in the computer, then you have to shift through all those files in the computer before you find that fax that you're looking for. And that's the human error that I'm talking about, is everybody doesn't have that. You can go straight to it. And some still do the HIPAA thing where you have to sign the release form before they will even do that.
But in the HIPAA form, it says you're basically, when you sign your rights, well, it's not rights away, but when you're signing the HIPAA form, it talks about they can share your information with other practitioners or healthcare providers.
They have
they're covered by that, though.
That's what I'm saying. They have to sign that. But if they don't have that, that's where the other human error is in there. If they don't have that in there, they won't release it. They'll make, and I'm going, but what if the patient is, unresponsive or whatever?
Right here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just because someone messed up and didn't scan it in their file, or which I wish every, doctor's office would go to, is electronic only, no paper, where they have to, you use an iPad to sign in, or you have to,
hashtag Airbnb. We don't use paper.
And you have to
come on over to the B&B.
I just saw a TikTok about an Airbnb, and someone said, don't trust it. That someone got in there and basically said, oh no, this is my room now. I'm renting this room out. And they didn't leave.
Oh, the hell you say?
They didn't leave. They stayed.
Oh, you getting out.
And they were like, but the thing of it is, she did it like a leasing type deal for a little bit of time. Instead, it was only supposed to be for like a week or something like that, and ended up that woman stayed smoking in there and everything. But
okay, girl, are you give me a seat? You getting on me and my pressure up?
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. But
because
anyway,
I'm here to tell you, by the time I start spraying Raid in the air and
you gonna run them out? Okay.
Oh yeah, you a roach. Get out.
You a roach.
See, I'm that person. Yeah, go on in their room and I'm gonna nail this door shut. You can't get out. Oh yeah, you in the room, all right.
Oh my gosh. But somehow, some way, some legal work she didn't do right. She didn't look at it like she was supposed to. And that person's like, no, this is my room. Until I leave, I'm paying rent here, basically. And I'm like, oh snap. But anyways, that's what I do like about your Airbnb. The thing I don't like is how, behind the times others are, and the fact that some of the doctors that is being forced to do the EMR they're paper driven. They don't want to do the EMR, and that irritates the us who are, technology driven. We came from paper and technology, like we were born in that time. So you got those people that are 20 years older than us that are like, no, I want to do but see, that's the reason why you go away from paper, even though computers are hackable, but paper is just as easily to be traced and found versus if it's in a cloud and the building burns down, no one's chart's missing, nothing's gone. You know what I'm saying? But
another reason to go to the Airbnb because the Airbnb has data centers all over the state for that very reason. If power goes down or things are hacked, they have backup servers all over the place.
Yeah, and that's what I want. Like that's what should be happening, but money and
it's expensive.
It doesn't money because your Airbnb is literally like the Taj Mahal. I mean, everybody goes there. You can't find a parking spot out there. If you find a parking spot, you doing good to find a parking spot. Don't leave that parking spot talking about you going to find lunch, because when you come back, you ain't gonna have it. You ain't gonna have a parking spot.
Another reason to go to the Airbnb. They have other locations instead of their main location.
Well,
and the outside locations offer most of the same services.
Well, one of them outside locations I don't really care for, but it is one of the. I guess you.
What did it start with?
Shoot.
What letter?
West.
Okay, so that is not. How can I put it? That is not an Airbnb. They're their own entity.
Oh.
It's more of a branding thing.
I figured it was a name thing because I was like, because I had a relative go there and
you're like,
they're still having surgery. They're still having complications, and that was
it's like a homemade hamburger and a McDonald's wrapper.
Look, homemade hamburgers are great. What you talking about? No. Say it's a McDonald's hamburger and a homemade. Say that, because McDonald's ain't nothing to
No, my point is McDonald's is a very widely known brand. And so people recognize that. So you get this wrapper, you think it's a hamburger in there, and you assume that it's a regular McDonald's hamburger. It's not until you open it that you see that it's something different. That's all I was saying.
But what I'm saying,
I'm not here endorsing hamburgers because I don't eat any of them, homemade, commercially produced or otherwise.
We're not going there.
For the record, I'm vegan.
Okay, we're not going there. But what I'm saying is homemade hamburgers are better. So
I eat mushroom burgers.
She eat black bean burgers. She lentil.
I do. I love. Oh my gosh, black bean and quinoa. Okay, let me hush. It's time for me to go.
Yes. Let's know, because I want
next time on Country Chick City Chick, we will talk about black bean and quinoa burgers.
No, because I already gotta say, we talking about insurance again. Really? Again.
Next time on City Chick Country Chick, we're gonna talk about how those hamburgers send you back to the Airbnb. I'm so done. It's time for me to bed.
You got the. I'm ready to go to sleep. I'm done. I want to go take a nap.
Okay, Country Chick. It was great chatting with you.
It was awesome as always. See you next week. Same time, same place, same laughs.
All right, then. Talk to you later.
All righty. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, did you enjoy that podcast? So did we. Check us out for our most recent updates on IG at City Country Chicks Podcast.